Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. My name is Megan. I am with the Illinois Student Assistance Commission and I am the host for today. I'm joined by a lovely group of people as your panelists for today and to talk about their respective institutions and first generation students. I'm going to share my screen just to talk about for you as attendees today. So you are able to ask any questions at the Q&A is located at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to ask questions of our panelists as they go through the presentation. Your camera and microphone is off, so while we cannot hear and see you, you can hear and see us. But please know that it is muted on your end. You can sign up for more sessions on the IACAC website, and the session is being recorded. So if you missed anything or if you have to check out a little early, no worries. The session is being recorded and will be posted on the IACAC website in a later date. But Jen, I'm gonna pass it back off to you and have a great session, guys.
Thank you. Hi guys, we are so excited to talk to you today. We put together this group because we are all first generation college students and we really wanted to talk to you guys about different resources and ways that we can help you on the admission side explore colleges and go through the college application process. So thanks for tuning in to our Calling All First Gen Students. We support you. First off, we will start with introducing ourselves. So my name is Anna Dutton. I am a freshman admission counselor at Aurora University, located in Aurora, Illinois. I've been a freshman admission counselor for about a year, and I was the first to graduate college in my family.
Thanks, Anna. My name is Patrice Batron. I'm also a freshman admission counselor at North Central College, located in Naperville, Illinois. I graduated from North Central myself as a first-generation college student and have been working at the college helping freshmen for 2 years now.
Wonderful, and thank you. My name is Jen Darby. I'm an admissions counselor at Augustana College. I'm also a first generation college student, and I've been working in admissions at Augustana for 2 years now as the on-campus admissions counselor.
Awesome. So as we jump into our presentation, a quick overview of what we're going to go over is college jargon, which jargon is just a really fancy word for specific terms related to something. So we're going to talk about different terms or jargon that is related to college that you probably are hearing now and might be a little overwhelming, in addition to some resources that you can start using today during your college search process and when you end up at a college on campus. So as one of our first questions, we want to lead you into some thinking. So what are some words that you have heard so far in your college search that have made you think, what does that mean? So you don't have to do anything with this. You could just jot it down or think in your head. Is there anything that's coming up that might have been a little confusing, or when your counselor is like, hey, you need to do that FAFSA? You're like, what's a FAFSA? I've never heard of that. I jotted down some ideas of what made me confused when I was a senior in high school, and my list included the FAFSA. That was a really big one that I had a lot of anxiety about. What's a major versus what's a minor? That was really confusing as well. Is it okay to be undecided? Is that something I can do in college? Is that looked down upon? Is that even an option? What's the registrar's office? That was just really a fancy word that I've never heard before. And then what's the difference between like public and private schools? That's something that I really didn't know, as well as what does it mean to be first gen? So I feel like that's something that is something you can start thinking about. And as we move forward, we'll talk about how to find the answers to your questions.
Awesome. And now another question to kind of ponder to yourselves. Where have you found most of your information so far? So, you know, especially during this time, I know online is a big resource for students. So whether that's individual college website pages, or, you know, maybe you've already stumbled upon FAFSA website, whatever that means, different things like friends and family members, maybe your high school guidance counselor, or just signs in your high school talking about colleges, perhaps high school teachers, All of these are really great resources that you can kind of think about and gather your information that you've collected so far. In addition to the resources that you've already come across, we have some more for you. So going off of Anna's point on all of these possibly confusing terms, we have resources right here that you can click on and find out what these mean. And even if you don't have any off the top of your head, these can give you a good idea. So for example, if we just go ahead and click on this, you can see, this is a glossary of a few different words. So academic achievement, what is an academic advisor and how is that different from your admission counselor? You can click on any of these and read more to find out some more information.
Okay, thank you for your patience as I got that unmuted. So as we kind of think about those resources, and we just shared with you some really cool online resources for you to explore, we want to kind of differentiate between the two. So first and foremost, online resources. I am a huge advocate for online resources. Number one, because they're typically always free. So there's something that you can go utilize and kind of explore at your own pace, which is a great opportunity for you as you're thinking about how do I balance, just school and exploring colleges and everything else that's happening in life at the same time. The other great pro, I would say, of online resources is that typically they offer different language options. So if you or your family speak another language in your household, or English isn't your first language, this is a great way to have those other resources in other languages as well. Also, like I already mentioned, super easily accessible. So if you are thinking about, gosh, I have 20 minutes in my free period in class today, what can I do to get ahead on my college search? You could just go into Google and search these resources to find. One of the cons, I would say, and I would say cons with a grain of salt, because I don't think there's many negative aspects to either in-person or online resources, but when you look at online resources, there can sometimes be a little bit of an overwhelming amount of information because there's so much. It's like if you search something on Google and you're like looking through 15 pages to find one link, that's the same exact thing as if you're looking at online resources. And so it's easy to get overwhelmed, which we do not want you to do. The other thing too is that there's a lack of person to kind of walk you through it. So when you're talking with someone in person, they can provide feedback and explanations for what you're looking at, but they don't necessarily have, when you're online, you don't necessarily have that person kind of nudging you in the right direction. There's a great online resource that I have shared on this slide that is a First in the Family website, which actually outlines a ton of different resources, not just online, but things about the FAFSA process, financial aid, applying to schools, and it kind of gives you a baseline for each of these options. The other side of that is in-person resources. So if you want to sit down and talk to an admissions counselor like ourselves, that's one way to have an in-person resource. Other things like your guidance counselors at school, TRIO or Upward Bound coordinators. It could even be like your best friend's mom that lives like 4 doors down. I don't know. Anybody that you come along in your journey and kind of start talking to who can provide you with some guidance, they're an in-person resource for you. The pro to that is that most in-person resources are also going to be free when you sit down and talk to your admissions counselor. We're not going to charge you by the minute for each piece of advice that we give you. We're going to help you navigate through that process. We're also going to be able to provide you instant feedback and really customize our advice to what you want and your experience. So even though we're talking about first-gen students in this presentation, it's really important to note that each and every one of you has a different experience that you're going to encounter and go through. And so we want to help you navigate your process. We also want to help you build your network. That's another great reason to build in-person resources, is because you can start connecting with admissions counselors like ourselves. And now you've got 3 different people who can talk to you about first-gen resources and help you advocate for that. The one negative effect of this is that you can't just do a quick Google search and like go talk to someone right away. You do have to make sure you coordinate some time to do in-person resources. That's the one thing. But there is another great resource that's shared on this screen that I would definitely encourage you all check out. So if you see the IACAC Corps, as I can't pronounce words today, that's a great resource for you if you're looking for someone to help navigate your college search process with you and kind of walk through a variety of different areas. That's also just a great, amazing resource. And you'll have these links as well after a presentation for you to explore too.
So as Jen said, we are 3 great resources for you to connect to on all things first gen. And while we are first gen college students and professionals ourselves, we are a part of really great programs on our campuses that help first gen college students. So speaking at North Central, I had the opportunity to be a part of the first cohort or grouping of students for the first gen college program. So this program has a lot of great resources for students. It's really a built-in network of first generation students, ambassadors, faculty, and staff members who offer mentoring and support whenever needed. It's very comforting to go down hallways where professors' offices are located and see I'm a first generation college student too. So you know that you can go in and talk to that professor about anything going on or any questions you have, not only about that area of what they teach, but just navigating college. So it's very supported on campus. While coming in, you might be hesitant about, the status of a first generation college student. But on North Central's campus, it feels very, very celebrated. Along with this, there's an opportunity for a $1,000 scholarship from participating in these programs that you have access to as a first generation college student. Along with this, there are monthly interactive lunch workshops that help you with things like time management and networking and all of the things that will help you be a successful college student and professional post-graduation. So like I said, this programming goes from your first day on campus to after graduation. We have summer camps involved to get you on the right track when you're starting your college experience. And overall, looking at North Central, we are more than 40% first generation college students, and we have more than 130 first generation faculty and staff members. So we are a very strong community. If you scan that QR code there, you can learn more about first generation initiatives and programs on our campus.
Awesome. That is so great, Patrice. I love hearing about all of the different colleges and the programs that we offer. And my first piece of advice before I start with this slide is to try to seek out in all the colleges you're looking at what they do for you as a first generation student. As an example, at Aurora University, we have programs built into our curriculum that help you from the day you apply as a student to be admitted all the way up until your junior and senior year. So to start off, we have first year programs that are really built to help you with that transition from high school to college. So we have the first year experience course, which starts during AU for you, which is your orientation to AU in May after you decide I want to become an AU Spartan. So with that, in that course, you start navigating different things like resources on campus, why you're picking the major you want to pick, because sometimes you don't know why you're picking it. It might be because your counselor told you to do it or your parents told you to do it. But what really makes you get up in the morning is what we want to figure out and build your academics around that. That first year experience goes all through the summer to your welcome weekend. So you have someone there every step of the way guiding you through that because I know you get a little anxious over the summer starting a new school and starting college. So we're there to help support you. In addition, your first semester, you'll take IDS, which is Interdisciplinary Studies 1200, called Discover What Matters. So our saying at AU is to discover what matters and build your life around it. So again, with that first year program, we're helping you transition into college, making sure that you're acclimating to AU, but also figuring out what you want to focus on throughout your 4 years, because I like to give an example that your 4 years of education is kind of like an interview for what you want to do the rest of your life. So we really want to set that foundation, and you'll have a faculty member within that class to be your go-to person, along with other people in your class to help support you that first year. In addition, we have an overall focus on vocation, which is another one of those college jargon words that I did not know until I Googled it a few weeks ago, honestly, because I used vocation in my vocabulary, but I didn't really know what it meant. And vocation basically means a career that you're really drawn to, and it makes you happy to get up in the morning. And that's what we want to make sure you do here at AU, is study something that makes you happy and build your life around that. So during your junior year, you will go through the junior mentoring program, where you will meet with a faculty in the major that you have chosen and meet with them throughout the year to have that point person to figure out how to even create a resume, how to search for an internship that's a good fit for you, and start thinking about where you want to start working. This was really impactful for me as a first generation college student, because like Patrice said, a lot of first generation students are also first generation professionals. So I'm like, what do I wear to an interview? Do I have to have a cover letter? What's a cover letter? I don't know how to do that. What job can I even get? Because to be honest, my mom's a lunch lady and my dad's a construction worker. They really didn't have anyone to go to. So we have that built into our program. In addition, you have a student success advisor, who is basically an academic advisor and a career counselor built into one. So you have a go-to person all 4 years to help you pick out your classes, but also do those mock interviews. If you're really nervous like I am, talking to new people and talking about yourself, and to really have that go-to person all 4 years. And I think that that's really a benefit to a first generation student, because you want to have that friendly face on campus that you can always go to and they can point you in the right direction. In addition, general education exploration. We like to encourage our students, if you're undecided, to go through general education exploration throughout your first 2 years to figure out what you really want to do. Within that, I just want to say it's okay to go undecided into college. It's totally, like, I feel like no one says that to you during your high school career. I changed my major 3 times. If someone would have just said, it's okay to not know what you want to do when you're 17 or 18 years old, I would have been like, whew, that's a big weight lifted off of my shoulders. We will help you figure out what you want to do. And then through that, the last thing I want to note is the general support that AU gives to our students throughout the admission and financial aid process. We are very much holding your hand through the whole way, so we can be that big sister or big brother that you've never had, that went through the process before you. I made all the mistakes, and I don't want you to make them. I'll help you. So if you want to scan that QR code on the bottom right-hand side, that'll get you connected and get more information.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Number one, I want to say that I'm so glad that we started using this phrase, first gen professional, because it is so true. It's important to know that being first gen is something that is a part of who you are, and it's something that you will continue to take with you as you go through your process of life, whether that be in a professional environment, or, as I found out, applying to grad schools and for PhD programs, that still applies 100%. I still am going back now and saying, wait, what does it mean to apply for a PhD? What's a thesis? I'm still asking myself those questions, even though I'm a professional now. So it's important to note that that's something that will continue to stay with you. So there's a continued growing process that comes with that. Now, I mentioned earlier I work with Augustana College. And so Augustana College, when thinking about the college overall, we are a small liberal arts college. And so as we're thinking about our programming and the way that that works with first gen students, we have a program called Augie First Gen, that encompasses both students and professionals on our campus. So it's a mentorship program that is going to help you through your first year and help you kind of navigate that process. But it's got a huge network of professionals on our campus who have been a part of it and alumni who have done the program as well. And so when you're in the program, you'll get to go to different sessions throughout the year. And each month they typically hold 1 session, sometimes 2, depending on the month and the schedule. But what they'll talk about is things like financial aid, navigating, now you're in college, how do you process paying for costs. They're going to talk about things like finding internships or finding research opportunities. They're going to help you navigate the process of even thinking about, when I move off campus for off-campus housing senior year, what do I do during that process? All these things that you may kind of have on the back burner, those mentorships and those meetings are supposed to help you prompt, starting to think about those ideas. And so it's a really great program to be a part of, and students will get to sign up for that as they're thinking about Augustana and exploring Augustana, which is another great part of that as well. Another program that we have coming really, really soon to our campus, which I'm really excited to eventually provide more details on, but for right now, I just get to kind of share the tip of the iceberg, that we will have a TRIO program coming to our campus soon, which is going to be, I know, I'm so happy. It will be a great resource for first generation students and students that are coming from a variety of different backgrounds. If you don't know what TRIO or Upward Bound is, and this is actually a question I get quite frequently when I drop those names, TRIO and Upward Bound programs are programs that are typically partnered with an institution in which they will go over different things like helping you prepare for college, so maybe taking college classes or what does academics look like. They're going to help you navigate that financial aid process, and it's basically just another community-based organization to help you really, really process what it means to, become a college student. So if you have an Upward Bound or a TRIO program or you're a part of one already, awesome, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, that's maybe something that you can explore if you're a freshman. Now, when thinking about Augustana and thinking about the first year experience as a first gen student, I wanted to share a story. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a video, and then if y'all can just give me a head nod to make sure that you hear the audio.
So hello, my name is Valerie Mello. I'm majoring in biology and public health and minoring in biochemistry on a pre-medicine track. I came to Augustana as a first-generation college student. Both my older sisters dropped out of high school, and one of them was a teen mom, and so I saw their struggles, and as a family, we really faced physical and mental health challenges together. That brought me to Augustana with a very open mindset of what I wanted to study. But I think the experiences available to me at Augustana really helped me to explore how the lessons I learned from my experiences with my sisters could serve a place in medicine. And what really jump-started my pursuing a career in medicine was my experience with the medical service learning trip and public health outreach in Nicaragua. Coming back, I wanted to explore more experiences in the medical field, and I came across this opportunity, the cardiology internship with Dr. Perry. It was an amazing opportunity for me because since I don't have anyone in my family who's in the medical profession, it was a great experience to be able to form that relationship with a professional and be able to ask him those personal type of questions. He was very open to answering, and so it gave me a very insider look of medicine and what it means to devote your life to serving others through medicine. This past summer, I had the opportunity to join the Texas Medical Program in Houston, and I was placed at Baylor College of Medicine. It was an amazing opportunity since I'm interested in pursuing a career as an obstetrician and gynecologist.
The Texas Medical Center program, it's actually a program that is fairly unique to Augustana insofar as we are one of about 15 schools nationwide that has this special relationship with the Texas Medical Center. I hear again and again from the mentors that we work with at the Texas Medical Center that the Augustana student brings something special.
It made me proud coming from a small liberal arts school, knowing that we were respected. We're on par with all the other students there from large universities. Augustana is where I've gained the confidence, the support, and the inspiration to pursue my dreams, no matter how big. I can't thank everyone enough, from the professors to my peers. They've all played such an important role in helping shape my dreams and my confidence to keep moving forward.
Awesome. So I hope that showed you just a little bit about how you as a first generation student are capable of so many things, whether that be doing research opportunities, internship opportunities, studying away. These are all possibilities that are laid out in front of you. And so please know that you can have a story of your own that you can shape and create, and that these are things that you can do despite the fact that you may not be thinking about them right now. It's definitely a possibility. I can tell you with absolute certainty that when I was a student, I would have never imagined that I would have been able to study abroad, but I was able to make that a reality and make it affordable for me and my family. Despite thinking, oh, I'm first gen, I'm just glad to be at college. No, I wanted more than that and to add on to that experience. Similar to what Anna and Patrice mentioned, I also have a QR code on my screen, which you'll see in a little bit as well. If you have any questions, please connect with us.
Awesome. So I feel like we went over a lot of resources and it might have been overwhelming, but we really just went over the tip of the iceberg of all the resources that we can help you with throughout this process. So what we wanted to do is provide our contact information. And I think I can speak for all of us when we say you can reach out to us whether you're interested in our college or you just want to chat. If you want to talk about our journey as a first generation college student, if you want to talk more about our programs at our colleges, just feel free to reach out to us. Each of us has provided our contact information as well as a QR code that directly links to our portals, which is kind of like a fancy calendar to set up a phone chat or video chat if you want to talk one-on-one with any of us after this session is over. We all are first generation college students. We went through this, and so we want to help you. And if you want to talk about any of these resources more in depth, we are all happy to talk to you guys about that. So if you want to go ahead, take a screenshot or wait until it's sent to you after the presentation, feel free to reach out. And with that, we'll move to the next slide and take any questions. So as Megan explained at the beginning of the presentation, you can utilize the Q&A function at the bottom. So all you need to do is click Q&A and then ask your question, and we'll answer it now. I think as we wait for some questions to come in, we can start by giving some example questions, maybe to get your minds thinking. And
I'm just going to interrupt you for just 1 second. I'm going to go back to the contact slide so that they can have that too.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful. That's perfect. Thanks so much, Jen. So I would like to start off with, this is something that I really struggled with when I was in high school is, should I tell people that I'm first generation? I'll start off by answering my own question, and then I'll pass it along to you guys to get your opinions. But yes, you should tell everybody. You should tell your counselor. You should tell any support services that you're getting, but especially you should tell your admission counselor, because we will help make sure that we keep in touch with you on a higher level to make sure that you're understanding. And maybe sometimes we get caught up in that college jargon and we're like, did you file your FAFSA? And you're actually sitting there like, I have no idea what's going on. So yes, I say tell everyone you can. Do you guys have anything to add on there?
Yeah, I completely agree. When I was in high school, I just learned what that term meant, and it wasn't being posted in my high school. I didn't even hear a lot of colleges talking about it until I made my decision for North Central, and a student called me and asked if I was first gen. And at first I was like, yeah, but that opened so many doors to opportunities for me, starting college and throughout the whole experience. And now seeing that high schools and colleges have these established programs is awesome. So definitely reiterating what Anna said, reach out to your guidance counselor, tell anyone that you think could be a helpful resource to you, your current teachers. Some of them might even be first gen too.
The other thing I'd really emphasize with that is sometimes it's really intimidating admitting that you don't know something. I'm still that way today, so that's never faded for me. But admitting you're first gen sometimes feels like you're saying, I don't know this, and that can be difficult to do. But I guarantee that there's other people wondering those same exact questions. So if you have questions or concerns, never feel like you can't ask them or you shouldn't ask them, because our entire job as admissions counselors is literally to answer your questions. I'm pretty sure that's like our #1 rule. So with that being said, it's really important that if you have those questions and you want to know more about them, please ask, because that's what we're here to do. And we would love to help you navigate that. And if you're intimidated by admitting like I'm first gen, or you don't want to admit that you don't know, maybe asking if there's any first-gen professionals or former like first-gen students that you could work with on a professional staff too, because someone like Anna, Patrice, and I would obviously understand your situation, and I think any counselor you work with would be absolutely amazing working with first-gen, but that might be another resource to consider as well.
Awesome. So we got our first question. We have how do you know that a school is good for what you're looking at studying? And I think we could do that in a two-part question is how do you know that the program is a good program for you and what you want to do, but also how is the school a good fit for you in general? Does anyone want to start?
Yeah, I can start off with the, oh, okay. Sorry.
Perfect.
You want to go?
We're so excited.
But so I would say starting with the program. So if you're thinking about a program, we can just say like pre-med, for example, and you're thinking you want to go into pre-med. It's important to think about what do you want to do with that degree after college. Sometimes you don't know. It's okay. And you will definitely change your mind. Yeah, what Anna said earlier about being okay to say you're undecided and you have no idea what you want to study and no idea what you want to do after college as a job. I honestly think that's the best way to go into college because I think you're more willing to explore information. But if you're dead set on a major and you want to know if their program is going to be a good fit for you, thinking about what you want to do with it is a great thing because you can ask, okay, I want to be pre-med. How many students have you had go to med school? Or, you know, what's the acceptance rate for med school? Or what med schools are they going to? Or where have your graduates gone for a career afterwards? So that might be some way to start with determining what you think about the program. Patrice, I don't know if you want to add to that or go on to that second part.
Sure, yeah. Great points. And these can be answered, you know, through connecting with an admission counselor. And if we can't answer it, we'll connect you with someone who can. But, you know, I think the other part of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, or add on, is visit. I have students all the time who are interested in any given major who are actually meeting with these professors. And even if they're not totally committed to the school, our professors are happy to meet with them and talk about their goals and what North Central can provide to them and help them reach their goals. You know, as well as meeting with a professor, you can sit in on one of these classes to see if it's what you're expecting. So all of those things are really great options to decide for yourself if it's going to be a strong fit.
I totally want to echo what both of you guys said. I think visiting is such a big component. Right now, you guys are doing the right thing by hopping on these IACAC sessions, but also you can look into schools to see if they're offering virtual visits. Most, if not all, schools are doing virtual visits. And with AU, and it sounds like with the other institutions that are here today, we allow you to meet virtually with a professor. So you can, and that's something I never thought of like, oh, do I want to talk to a professor before the first day of school? No way. But it really helps you figure out, is this, you know, a good fit for me? Because you're going to be spending a lot of time with these people teaching you. You might want to see if they pass, you know, the vibe check. Are they good? Do they have that teaching model that you like? I also like to tell students to look at the course catalog. I know it's kind of silly to look at what courses you're going to take, but if they all align with what you want to learn and it makes you excited, then that's a good fit. What I wanted to kind of point out, as well as fitting for your program, there's really three different things that you want to think of when thinking about your college fit. You want to think of academic fit, which that question definitely answered that portion. It needs to fit you academically. If you're undecided, you probably also want to see, are there 2 or 3 majors that the school offers that I'm kind of interested in and I can do that? Next would be, you know, social fit. Is it going to be a good fit for you with extracurriculars? Is it going to be a good place? Can you live on campus if you want to, or is it commutable? And then the last one is financial fit. So that is making sure that they meet your financial need and it's a comfortable cost for you. So I think you're headed in the right direction who's asking about academic fit, because that's one of the main components of what you want to think about when looking at your different colleges. Okay, so we have another question. The next question is, how do I pay for college? Which is a big one. Who wants to take that on? I could start. I'll start. Okay, cool. I'll call myself. So how do I pay for college? As a first generation college student, you might be going back and forth between, talking to your parents, like, are you paying for college? Am I paying for college? Is grandma paying for college? It ended up for me that I had to pay for my own college. So the process is pretty, it's complex at first, but to give you a really, brief overview, apply to the colleges that you're interested in, and have some colleges that might be a safe school for you, such as a community college because you can commute to it, or a school that's close to you and you could commute by saving some of that cost. And then do some match schools where maybe they're kind of in your price range, you might get a good scholarship. And then do some reach schools, the schools that have the huge sticker price. As 3 private schools will tell you, our sticker prices are huge. That's another college jargon word. Sticker price is that price that no one pays. It's the really crazy big price that is before any scholarships or any financial aid. So one thing from my experience I want to teach you guys is to not discriminate against schools based on that sticker price, because you'll be really surprised what you get with financial aid. Next, you'll see if you get any scholarships from the admission process. So any automatic scholarships that you're eligible for working so hard in high school. And then you file FAFSA, which is one of those other words that gets thrown out a lot. It stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. I know I couldn't get through this panel without putting a plug that FAFSA opens up on Thursday, which is so exciting. The FAFSA basically looks at your parents' financial information, and it lets you see how much federal or state aid, or both, you're eligible for. And that comes with free money, that comes with borrowed money, that comes with self-help aid. So you get to see that. And then you can get your award letter, another jargon that they just created to confuse us. But an award letter is basically a broken down version of your estimated cost for AU or for North Central or for Augie. So you get to compare those with all of your different schools. And as long as you have different schools to compare, you'll feel like you have a good fit for finding your financial fit. And then the last part is local scholarships, which I'm not sure if anyone wants to take that away. Local scholarships. Jen, Patrice? No, keep me on my
soapbox. It's okay.
Okay, go ahead, Jen.
So I think that that's something, as a first-gen student, that was one of my biggest struggles, is understanding that scholarships didn't just come from a school, that they came from other places as well. And so I remember my senior year of high school, I heard like over the announcements at school to come into the counseling office and apply for scholarships. And I was like, what the heck are these people applying for? Because don't they just need to apply for the school? And that's where I figured out that there's local scholarships you can apply for. And man, did those make a big difference. So local scholarships can be scholarships maybe through your high school. They could be through local organizations, like 4-H is a big one. They could be through your employer. So if you work part-time, your employer could have scholarships, and so much more. The thing about local scholarships is that typically there's more available than what people end up like applying for. And typically they don't have enough applicants to give out all of these scholarships. So I would encourage you, I know that it's already a hectic time and a hectic year, but when you get into the process of applying for schools, set aside some time that you can really go through all of these different local scholarships at your local high school, whether that be an online platform or in person, and really make a plan to apply to those. At Augustana, for example, students can bring in up to the full cost of tuition in outside scholarships. And so it will not impact your merit scholarships or anything like that. So imagine how much that could change your overall total cost if you were able to apply to local scholarships and bring those in. So I would definitely recommend those and making sure that you apply for those. But what they are is they're basically just scholarships outside of the institution, for better words, when they refer to local scholarships.
I would just say as that last piece is talk to us, especially the schools that you are applying to and the ones that you've narrowed it down to, have financial aid packages for, those award letters. Talk to us and talk about where your family is looking to get to and what would be actually affordable, because oftentimes, we're that bridge between your family and financial aid, and we can seek out other opportunities as well. So it always helps to keep us in the loop.
Yeah, once again, don't be afraid of those conversations. I know it can be intimidating to talk about money, but definitely don't be afraid to mention that, as it's something that we do work with that every day. And we know that that can be an awkward conversation to have on your part when you're bringing up money, but it's something that really can make a big difference if we know it.
Awesome. So we don't have any other questions. What I did want to do is, since we have a few more minutes left, Jen, would you be able to go back to the slide that shows the ISAC core link, and would we be able to go into that? So I just want to get on my soapbox one last time. There are great resources for you in your community. I know that we might be farther out than where you are today. So what I really want to promote is the Illinois Student Assistance Commission. They work to help throughout the college planning process. And with the ISAC core, they're a group of college graduates, recent college graduates, that go out into the community and work with your high school to help with college applications, with the FAFSA. Look at those happy people. They're here to help you. They are now working virtually. So you might not have heard of them yet because it's your senior year and you're doing a lot of things remote, but I really encourage you to connect with one of the core members here, and they can help you through the whole process. I was a core member myself before an admission counselor, and they know the FAFSA like the back of their hand, and they are there to help you. If you're looking for a specific college, they will sit down and do a college search with you. They will walk through that whole step. And so that's really a person in your community that might be able to even meet up with you. So if you take anything from this at all, find those online resources and those in-person resources so you have us too as advocates throughout this process.
Two quick things. I typed in the zip code for our college, so know that these are not necessarily your people here. You'll have to type in your own zip code. But I also realized as I just pulled this up, and this is so crazy, that when I was in high school, it was actually an ISAC representative that helped me with the FAFSA. I remember someone coming in wearing like an ISAC t-shirt and saying, hey, like, let me help you figure this out. And I probably wouldn't have filed it if I didn't know what they taught me. So yeah, definitely utilize it. We're gonna push that.
Anything away.
Yes.
They're legit and they're the best. That's their job. So any last words for our panel? I think we're almost wrapping up. No? All right. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really hope that you guys got something out of this and reach out to us afterwards. We're happy to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you to our panelists and attendees. Thank you for today. So just know that the session was recorded, so you can access the session later, and as well as the presentation, so you can access those great resources that they've shared. So have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for joining us.